do it. All right.
Pretty much. I'm going to start the music. I'm going to hit record here, so this way I know at least we're recording the podcast. I'll let you hit the record here,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
then we're rolling.
Hold on. So, guys, what's up? Hold on. I'm teaching my buddy Eric here how to do live streams on
What
his
up?
new YouTube channel at Diet This Hill. Go follow him. So you're gonna hit start streaming, and then it's gonna say manage broadcast, and then it's gonna bring you to this,
And then
like the title.
create broadcast.
So yeah, put your new title in.
I gotta do it again, Ted.
Yep, you do. Sorry.
We're just going NFL.
Yep. That's right.
So are we-
category sports? You might have to change this every time.
Yeah, that's right.
Public, no, not me for kids. We'll get you a thumbnail, and then create broadcast and start streaming.
Oh wait, so before you hit that and we go, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. Go. Sorry. My bad. Oops.
It's good to be back. Back with my friends at Die on This Hill. First live stream on YouTube. Pretty interesting. Gonna see how it goes here today. My buddy Tim Shorling
What's up, guys? How we doing?
and my buddy Carl Shorling.
Hello, everybody.
He's the man in the chair.
He is the man in the chair. That being said, he's also the man who just had his fourth child. So congrats to Carl on his fourth.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice. I need that.
Nice big round of applause for Carl there. Definitely well deserved. 4 is a lot, my friend. A lot. So
It's almost a basketball team. You know?
it is almost a starting basketball team. It is.
Well, we would be starting. We're not that very good. But
All right. Guy in the chair over there. You got to get a little bit closer over there. But anyway.
so sorry.
Yeah, so happy to have you guys here. And I'm happy to have you here because you, like myself, are big Giants fans.
Yes.
You're two guys who I respect your opinions on football. For those who don't know, Tim, did you win the state championship or did you just go to the championship?
We went to the state finals 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row in high school. Hell of a ball player, not just football, but baseball as well. My buddy Carl played D1. He is a beast. And yeah, two guys who I absolutely love to get their opinion when we talk things like this. And today we're going to be talking Giants offseason. And with the Giants offseason, I've heard some people get depressed. I've heard other people really like it. I've heard other people say, well, it's not the flashy moves, but it's moves that's going to help the team develop. I want to know, where do you guys stand? So I'm going to start with you, Tim. Where do you stand on the Giants, and where do you think they are this offseason?
It's interesting because, yeah, I mean, obviously everybody knows Saquon's gone. He went to the Eagles, of course, of all the teams he had to go to. I think Dallas only would have been the worst. But they picked up Singletary after he was gone. They picked up Brian Burns. Is that it, Brian?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the pickups. Yeah, okay, that sounds better. Okay, I think the pickups aren't bad. I just don't know about the quarterback still. I don't know about him, and he's the leader. So I think they're making improvements on defense by picking up Burns and did they pick somebody else up too on defense? I just can't remember. I've been trying to read up on all this, and I've been very busy.
To be honest, they probably have. I know they picked up a couple offensive linemen. Picked up the guy from the Raiders.
Yeah, they picked up
also
John Runyon.
Runyon Jr., who
Yep.
mistakenly the other day, I thought they were going after like a Nate Solder type move and grabbing like the oldest guy off the block. Kind of like they called up, who last year? Was it Pugh? Justin Pugh, right? They called up off his couch to come and play offensive line.
Yeah.
So Yeah,
But he didn't do that bad for coming off the couch.
He didn't. He was arguably one of their best linemen. So nobody had an issue with what he was doing.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, Soldier we all have a problem with because the Giants way overspent for him. They way overspent for him. But that being said, Runyon is the kid. He's only in his 20s still. And I don't know what to think about it. I like the fact that they're addressing the offensive line.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge thing.
I don't necessarily like the fact that, all the moves they've made so far. Like, to be honest, and I don't know where you stand. I'm going to go to Carl for this, but where do you stand on Burns? Because I look at it as a guy, he came from a last place team. Some people say, oh, well, you can't. A lot of teams ran the ball in Carolina, so his numbers are a little skewed. He's probably going to be even better with the Giants, blah, blah, blah. I hear that. But at the same time, he also came from a last place team. And he also came to a team, one of the only teams probably in the NFL, that was going to give him $30 million a year over the next 5 years. He's going to make $150 million. And I think 80-something of it or 90-something of it is guaranteed. He's a lot for a guy for 12.5 sacks. And when you're not willing to re-sign Saquon for 12, but you're willing to give this DN from the worst team in the league 30, I have a problem with that. But Carl, I want to know, do you have a problem with that?
I see what you're saying. I feel slightly differently in the fact that I feel he is a better run stopper than the Giants have had in a long time. If you look at his stats, his run stopping is actually very good compared to most people at that position. His sacks are not there for a DN. They need to be, but he's got experience in a defensive that doesn't have any. I mean, they have a lot of young guys out there. They need some help, and I think that can help. But he can't be the only signing. I mean,
how about that, Dave?
They need somebody that can that is the head of that defense. They need somebody that can control that, and I don't think they have it yet.
No, and I like what he's saying coming into the team, but at the same time, I listen. We got Thibodeau, we got Lawrence, but I mean, they weren't willing to pay. Who is it that they just traded during the season? Leonard, right?
Yep.
Got rid of an interior lineman, Leonard, to get an outside rusher. I get it, but Leonard was a beast. And we gave up and got back a second-round pick from Seattle for him. But we just gave that second-round pick to Carolina now. So now we don't have that pick. And what do we have? What are we doing here? To me, it kind of baffles me. And I'm wondering what is going on in Shane's head. That's just me.
Well, I think the Giants have had a problem for years now. I mean, every year is a new fucking Band-Aid on the offensive
it's all right.
defense.
It's all right. We're not explicit here, but if something drops, it drops. It's part of the conversation. I don't condone the cursing all the time because I don't think it needs to happen. But if it's in the passion of talking sports and it's inside the net, I'm good with it. So don't worry about it, my friend.
They've patched their O-line and D-line every year for the past 10 years. Every year it has been disgusting. And they've addressed it, they've tried, and they failed. Whoever's addressing their linemen, they've got to get better. It's going to start within the inside. And it hasn't got better through this regime. The last one, no one can judge O-line. I don't get it. It doesn't seem that difficult.
No, but I think they're swinging and missing. They tried with Neal, they tried Thomas. Bad. Thomas took a couple of years. Neal's was bad. And
it's bad. But it's not like it's so close. It's that was really bad. It's just they spend money on people that suck for the purpose of what? They've been in the league. Well, they're old as hell and they can't move. I mean, what are you going to do with that?
Besides putting the blame on the GM and everybody like that, you got to blame the scouts too because they're drafting people that aren't working out either. It's not just your GMs trying to make trades and all that. They're drafting people that are not working. Prime example, I know we're talking about the line, but Daniel Jones really isn't working. He had a good year.
He wasn't working last year either. And
he wasn't.
He was coached up by the team. The team got on a roll, and he benefited from it. But at the same time, he was never worth $40 million a year. And anybody who knows me. I was screaming last year that the Giants should have gave the Ravens 2 first-round picks and got Lamar Jackson. Because if you're going to give a quarterback that type of money, I want to see what Dable could do with an MVP type quarterback.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson, MVP type quarterback, to me, he's worth the $40 million a year guaranteed. It wasn't worth it to me for Daniel Jones, and now you see it. He got hurt year one of the contract. He's not coming back until maybe the beginning of the year, but more likely he's not going to be back till October. And if he's not back till October, this team is in a world of hurt because
That's what 5 games are?
they're capped in a way that's difficult to explain to people because, well, not really, but they have $40 million wrapped up in Jones. You can't go out and sign another quarterback. You can't go out and get anybody. You couldn't be in on Kirk Cousins.
And nobody's
you couldn't
taking
be in
that
on. I mean, even like Carl, you just mentioned right before we got on that Garoppolo got released. The Giants won't be in on him either because you're not going to give him $20 million because now you got $60 million involved into your. You know, it doesn't make financial sense. So what the Giants are going to try and do, I think, bring in a cheap backup replacement, which. We know how this is going to go this year if that's the case.
Drew Lock, baby.
Yeah, they're awful. That's who they got, right? That's who I couldn't think of.
Yep.
So yeah, Drew Lock, Daniel Jones coming back off an injury, and Tommy Cutlets is what we're rolling in the next season with. You're telling me that we're any more than at best a 7-win team with that starting quarterback room?
I would have rather them paid Saquon and just told Daniel Jones, like, just give him the ball. Just hand Saquon the ball and let him do it.
Well, that brings us, we'll roll right into it
Yeah.
then with Saquon. Didn't want to give him the 12.5, and I get it. Listen, he's been hurt. He's had some injury issues. They may not have, they don't value the position as much. I get that. But at the same time, I don't care that we lost him to the Eagles. I know a lot of people are, I'm burning his jersey. I'm never rooting for him again. The guy was a good Giant. He said all the right things. He did all the right things while he was here. I can't hate a guy for taking the bag. I can't hate a guy for trying to better his family and better his experience and getting paid more than twice as much as probably what the Giants were willing to offer. Now, granted, I think Barkley should have taken the deal not last year but the year before when they offered him the deal at the during the bye week, and they offered him like 3 years, $12 million or $12.5 million a year, and he turned it down. I think that was his time to cash in with the Giants. Once he turned that down, I think it soured the front office. I think it soured ownership a little bit. And because of that, I just look at it and I'm like, they don't value him the same way they did prior to that. And I can't fault him, though, for wanting to get the money. Now, what's the point of staying with the Giants if, one, you know the quarterback is shit?
Yeah.
And you know that you're not going anywhere probably this year, and the best you can hope for is probably maybe fighting for a wild card.
Yeah.
You know, what is the purpose? Why? Just so Saquon can say he's a forever Giant? Like, get the hell out of here.
Just he's loyal, thank you. No, the dude wants his money, man. I don't blame him. He wants to win. He's going to go to a winning team. I don't blame him.
He should want to go to
Yeah.
a winning team, though. Why wouldn't anybody want to go to a
Yeah.
winning team?
If you don't play at like a professional level to win the game, why are you there? I mean, yeah, obviously money, but like everybody wants to win. Nobody likes losing. Nobody.
I'm with you there. Nobody likes losing, and he lost a lot with the Giants. And I get why the Giants originally drafted him. They thought that Eli was going to be the savior. They thought that this was the kid they were going to bring in to take the pressure off of Eli and maybe get Eli one more ring before he goes. It didn't happen, and unfortunately you can't build a team around a running back. You can't do it. You watched Carolina try to do it with McCaffrey and had to get them. Didn't get them anywhere, and they ended up back with the first pick, and they're starting from scratch over, and now they're starting with a quarterback instead.
And McCaffrey went to a Super Bowl team.
And McCaffrey went to a team, but that team hasn't won the
They
Super
haven't
Bowl.
won yet. Yeah.
So, again, it shows you that position can take you only so far.
Yes.
And because of that, I personally don't think, and again, not to slate Saquon, but I wouldn't have gave him the contract the Eagles gave. But I understand why the Eagles gave it to him, because you look at that offense now, and you have A.J. Brown, and you have Smith, and then you have Hurts, and then you have Saquon.
Yeah.
And then whoever they got at tight end really doesn't matter, but I'm sure they're going to get a few passes thrown their way too.
Goddard's still a pretty solid tight end.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's goofy. He's not. I don't think he was as good as Ertz was, but he's still pretty solid.
Yeah, but again, now you add how much pressure does that take
Yeah.
off him? Because now nobody's
It takes-
focusing on him.
Yeah, it takes
He could be
pressure
a
off
red
everybody.
zone monster. He could be a middle of the
Yeah.
field monster because they're going to be loading the box to stop to stop Hurts,
Mm-hmm.
to stop Saquon. And when you do that, there's only you can only have 11 guys on the field.
Yeah.
You can't double team everybody. So who are you single teaming?
Yeah.
And if you don't stack the box and you stack it up on the receivers, then Hurts and Saquon should have a field day. So I understand why they did it.
Yeah, I mean, they lost DeAndre Swift, who I think he had a really good year last year, but I mean, it's Saquon. He's better than Swift, I feel.
When he's on the field, that's
Yes,
the other
when he's
thing
on the
is
field.
that
Yeah,
I
if he
think
gets
the
hurt,
Eagles
then-
are rolling the dice here.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think the Eagles. We got any comments?
Nope.
No,
Nothing yet.
that's right.
I don't even have any. It's all.
That's
This is all.
It's brand new, and I gotta be honest, I'm
Street,
excited
it's
to
all
do
get,
it.
it's all
Yeah.
guess and check, man. You'll get there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But either way, yeah. As far as the Giants go, I kind of told you guys where I'm at with this team. I want to know what you guys think. One, is the quarterback room done now, or do you think they still bring in another veteran to compete with Drew Lock? Or, like, where do you guys see this team going from here? Do you look at their offseason now with the offensive linemen, with Burns, with, some of the other pieces that weren't flashy, like Singletary, whatever, but that hopefully solidify some positions? Do you think they've done enough to be a successful team next season, or do you see kind of like I do?
I think I'm in your boat. I don't think they're going to do that well at all. Did they pick up a new D coordinator yet, or is that still up in the air? And what the heck? Because didn't oh god, what's his name?
Wink Martindale.
Yeah, well, didn't Martindale sign with somebody? Or,
To be honest, I don't know.
I can't remember. But I mean, that's
Guy in the chair.
that
Should
guy in the
write it
chair.
down there.
Yeah, guy in the chair. But no, I mean that's a huge thing too. And I mean, just getting off the offense for a second, that's huge. Like your defensive coordinator just walked out on you. Like what are you gonna do about it? Like you got to do something. You can't just wing it and hope your guys there are gonna take care of something. So I mean, you need to address the defense as well. Like get them all back together and cohesive. And then you also need to work on your offense, which is just absolute.
Tim, I know you're down in Florida, so did you hear about the Wink Martindale scandal, or did you just catch bits and pieces?
So
I know it's more of a localized thing
Yeah,
to the New
yeah.
York area. Here, probably
Yeah.
you're not going to hear a ton of that.
yeah, I hear a lot of Bucks stuff, and once Tom Brady left, it was great because it's just fucking annoying. So sorry.
Sorry. He did bring a he did bring a championship.
He did. I'll give him that. I'll let him have it. But
And by the way, Wink Martindale, he is Michigan. He's Michigan's defensive coordinator.
I thought he
Michigan's
signed with the college.
coordinator.
Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. But so I heard what the Giants brought, let go let two of Wink's guys go and didn't tell him. So he's just uproared and just left. If I'm missing something, you can fill that in. But that's pretty much what I heard.
Yeah, so pretty much he came in, didn't know that.
Yeah, he didn't know what happened.
Well, no. Dable apparently and the front office fired these two guys. I think they were the Wilkes brothers. I could be wrong. They were two guys or who were underneath Wink Martindale
Yeah.
and had been with Wink Martindale forever.
Yeah.
They were like Wink's right hand man.
Mm-hmm.
And they got canned, and Wink didn't know about it.
Yeah, they didn't tell him
They didn't tell him. So he went into the meeting
where my
and
guy's at.
pretty much flipped out and said, "You suck. Your offense sucks. You were never able, when we played you in practice and we practiced against you, your team never scored against us. You know, and you
Yeah.
can pretty much eat it and die."
Yeah.
Like he died on that hill, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
Then he went home.
Yeah.
Apparently, he typed his resignation, but the Giants weren't going to just let him walk under his own terms and
No.
go wherever the hell he
Yeah.
wanted. So I'm sure there were stipulations in letting him out of that deal, and maybe one of those stipulations was you're not getting another NFL job this fast. So maybe that's why he took
Yeah,
and he
had
said,
it
okay, well,
chopped
what
down
if I
to
go to
the top,
Michigan instead? And maybe they were able to work something out behind the scenes, but it was ugly there for a minute, and it had been ugly most of the season. You had heard rumblings
That
about
they
the
weren't getting along,
issues
yeah.
between him and Wink and what was going on, and that was the first crack in the armor, though, that I can remember for Dable. Like, up until then, Dable was like, to me, he was the balls. Like he was the guy. Like it was the first time I looked at Dable, or and I was like, is it going to his head a little bit? Is he not now? Like, is he, is there too much friction now because he thinks who he is because he's getting all this praise? I don't know. So I'm hoping that they find a way to gel back together this season.
Yeah.
I'm sure whoever he brings in or in the front office brings in, they'll have hopefully a little bit better rapport. But he had a really good rapport with Wink Martindale going in. So and the fact that it soured so quickly is what has me a little bit worried. But I'm with you there about worrying about the defense, because who are they going to bring in? What are they going to do? Like, I'm sure they already brought somebody in, and I'm probably
it's
not.
possible. I just don't know.
Carl, you got any info on that on the Giants' defensive coordinator? He's the guy in the chair. You can't see him on camera, which is okay. We're calling him the guy in the chair. He's over there to our right.
Yeah. He's mysterious.
He is mysterious. Well, I mean, listen, he's a big deal.
Yes.
He's a big deal. But anyway,
Shane Bowen.
Who?
Shane Bowen.
Shane Bowen. I think I did hear that name. I don't know why. But again, to me, it's not a name that moves the needle.
No.
But I don't need it to move the needle,
because
Dable and Shane, when they brought in those guys, they didn't move the needle for me necessarily. But I looked at it as they were two guys who were stepping up, coming out of a good organization that was, doing well with, and still doing well with Josh Allen. So, I just hope that at some point Dable gets the time to actually coach a quarterback who has talent and actually coach somebody up, because he could coach Daniel Jones from being an average quarterback to being a good quarterback. I want to see what he could do with a great quarterback, because I think he could turn a great quarterback like a Josh Allen into a Hall of Famer. I think he could take certain guys and be able to do that. He doesn't have that with Daniel Jones. He thought he did. It was a mirage for 1 year, but I just hate the fact that people didn't see it for more than that. And they pretty much pissed away $80 million plus over the last 2 years.
I saw it the whole time. I was like, man, he's playing real good, but I still don't buy it.
No, how could you buy it? Nobody. Well, yeah, I'm not buying it.
No.
So, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be selling.
No. And whatever happened between Dable, Martindale, whatever, hopefully it humbled both of them. Even though it probably seems more it's on Dable's side of the fault, because they just fired Martindale's guys and didn't let him know. But hopefully it just humbled both of them between whatever was going on. So, like, he can come in level-headed and just focus on what they need to focus on, which is a lot.
What do you think, guy in the chair?
What NFL coach do you know is level-headed?
There aren't many. Actually, Nick Sirianni apparently had
He had Big Dom to keep him calm.
Yeah, but that's where towards the end of the year, though, I think he wasn't there, and then he started going crazy. So maybe they need to implore somebody like that with Dable.
I just think the Giants need to fucking do something that this is very frustrating, by the way.
So let me hear it, my friend.
Year.
Die on this hill with me. Come on.
The Giants die on the hill. Either they're going to win or they're literally going to not win. That's every year. Every year, it's somebody new brought in to do something, a new patchwork.
There's no mediocre seasons.
They need to blow it completely up, which I thought they were going to do. And they were going to do it, and I thought they were going to do it great. But no, they're doing the same damn thing. They're signing people to contracts for no apparent reason, getting rid of people that are doing well, and then they're bringing some old dude for some unknown reason. It's the same shit over and over again. What are you going to do? You're not going to get anything. They have no superstars. No superstars. Who won the Super Bowl this year?
KC.
How many superstars do they have?
1.
A billion.
How many?
No, two legit, because I would count
In their position, how many superstars? Mahomes,
Kelsey, and Jones.
Yes, Jones.
You got to count Jones on the defense. He's an
and
animal.
you do, and I agree. They have 2 on one side of the ball. That's what you need, at least to win.
Yeah.
And then they have 1 on the defensive side. Who runs the defense?
Yep.
He controls everyone else around him.
Who just resigned
And
with
that's what he needs. On the offense, other than those 2 superstars, they have very competent seasoned players and very competent coaching staff to help the younger players. Which one of those do the Giants have? They haven't proven any of it.
By the way,
None of it.
shout out to my family real quick for listening down in Florida.
Hey, all right.
Ray, shouts us out in the chat, says, hey, Timmy, hey, Carl.
What's up?
What's going on?
So, yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah, but I'm spot on with everything you're saying.
I mean, they do the same thing every year and expect, they pull this trash out.
It's the definition of insanity.
Telling all the fans that they're doing something.
Yep.
It's the same thing, and it's all trash every year. I don't expect to win, Well,
I mean,
Giants, baby, let's go. We're headed to the season so high that we're going to lose really well.
The difference is, though, at least you've seen some Giant Super Bowls.
That is true, and I can't bitch about
You've
that.
seen
That is
Mets
very
World
true.
Series. You
You've
just
seen-
haven't seen.
you've
You
seen-
can't. You've only been alive for one, but I don't even think you really saw that
I
one.
don't remember that.
I've seen a bad Mets World Series and it wasn't good.
Speaking
They're
of
up
up free agency and off season, I'm gonna bring this up just real quick to roll a little bit, but I gotta hear your thoughts on Alonso. Are the Mets gonna re-sign him? We don't gotta spend a lot of time on this, but I gotta know Mets. Are they gonna re-sign Alonso, and should they re-sign Alonso? Go.
Two different answers there. So the thing is, if they do resign Alonso, that means they have faith. If they don't resign Alonso, that means they're literally giving up on everything. There's only one thing the Mets fans want. They want Alonso. To be honest, I don't care what they pay for him. Keep somebody. Keep somebody
You
that's
need-
worth it.
you
Pay
need-
somebody that's not 40 friggin' years old. I mean, Christ almighty. Now, he's probably closer to 40 than I was hoping, but, they usually pay out like Verlander. Let's give that guy, $20 billion for no apparent reason. Let's give everybody all the money. Then let's trade them, pick up all of their money anyway, and just give it out to everybody else. Let's pay everybody's goddamn salaries for every freaking team. Just do it. Why not? There's no point. This team is pissing me off just like the Giants, but they've done it for longer. I had so much hope, but so much.
There's a lot of going
I'm
on.
gonna
last season.
go down quick here. The rabbit hole begins.
Yeah, there was a lot of hope for Mets fans last season, and it did not end well at all. About Alonso, I haven't seen. I mean, I'm only 35, so I mean, you guys are a little bit older than me. You've seen a little bit more baseball. I haven't seen them commit to a younger. I know he's not young, but I haven't seen. I mean, the only people they've committed to are pretty much David Wright and Jose Reyes, and I mean, Jose Reyes left the team but came back. But so I mean, pretty much David Wright is the only guy they've really fully committed to that I've seen since I've been.
And he left doing medical.
Yeah, and he had he's like a spine debilitating.
Spinal stenosis.
Yeah, spinal stenosis. So he had to retire. I mean, the good thing is, I mean, he plays first base, so it's not like he's like running around all over the field. Like he can. It'll preserve his knees. It'll preserve his legs and stuff a little bit. So I mean, like you said, should they re-sign him? Yes. Will they? Who knows? I mean, I think they should. I mean, don't give him whatever he wants, but I mean, you're gonna have to bend a little bit, but you need to re-sign him.
Is he worth re-signing to be a lifetime Met? Because honestly, there aren't many lifetime Mets.
No, there's not.
There's really not. And is he worth it to overpay, say, $2, $3, even maybe $5 million a year more than another team would to retain a guy like that because of what he could mean to the history of the Mets? Now, to me, it's hard to answer that question because last year I looked at it with Judge and I said, give Judge what he wants. He's the captain of the team. I get it, they haven't won a World Series with him yet, but at the same time, he's arguably one of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best players in baseball. And you got to pay him. You can't let him walk and go to the Dodgers. You can't let him walk and go to the Giants or to anywhere else. He has to be a Yankee. He's one of the guys on the team that, and one of the really only longevity guys that is left. I mean, from when they brought up Sanchez and him and a bunch of other people and the Killer Bees and all that, he's the one guy that's lasted the test of time so far, and I wanted to see him end his career as a Yankee, regardless if it ended with the back half of the career or the contract isn't as great as the front half. To me, it was still worth it to do. So I'm glad that they were able to come to a consensus on that, and I'm kind of wishing that for the Mets. And I'm kind of wishing that they do keep their guy because as much as I'm not a Met fan, and I bust your chops all the time about the Mets, I look at Alonso a lot like I looked at David Wright. And he could go down as a beloved Met. He could go down as a guy who maybe they didn't win a World Series, but he got him there, once, twice? Well, they were there in 15, right?
Who, right?
Alonso.
A lot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, they got to the
No.
World Series. Are we talking about?
Yeah, Alonso
Could've
hasn't been
just
to the
a-
World Series yet.
No, he came
No,
up after
he-
they went because they
Yeah,
went
he-
against the Royals.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he in that?
Yeah.
Was he-
Oh, yeah.
No, that was because that was like Daniel Murphy. That was all them.
But I think he was. I think he was there.
Was
I
he?
think he.
I
I could be
don't
wrong,
remember.
and the Met fans can check me on that.
Yeah.
But I think he at
Yeah,
least
but
went
check
to
it right
one. And even if he didn't, to me, he's a guy that you guys should want to retain. Steve Cohen coming into the league, this was the type of thing that he would you're happy that you have him instead of the Will Ponce because he will go that extra $2 or $3 million,
Yeah.
$5 million to make sure he lands his guy if it's his guy. But
Yeah.
I don't know how close or what Cohen thinks of him. Do you have any idea of what Cohen's thinking?
So I think Cohen came in thinking I'm just going to buy all the good players and we're going to win. Clearly, it didn't happen. So I think that's what he's now second guessing himself on. The problem is he was bringing everybody in from outside. Alonso's been there.
Alonso made his debut in 2019.
2019. Okay, so he
Damn.
wasn't there. Yeah.
Late,
Yeah,
it's
so
late-
he's-
I thought it was sooner. I did.
I can't believe he's only
Yeah.
been in the league 4 years.
Yeah.
5.
5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was way off on that one. I'm usually not that off.
I agree. I thought it was 2017, but
yeah, I think Cohen needs to put his faith in Alonso and not look outward. Put your faith in the guys you have. Yes, you need to upgrade players and stuff, but you're literally seeing every Met fan on the planet saying, "Please resign him. Do it. Just do it. Even if they don't win, you'll still have happier fans because all Mets fans love Alonso."
But then I'm going to bring it back to the Giants. All Giants fans loved Saquon. And I know we kind of went through this already, but seeing the love that you have,
I know he wanted it.
seeing the love that you have for Alonso and the way you'd pay him, knowing that Barkley wanted to be a Giant from everything he said, was it worth trying to go towards what the Eagles had to match or at least try to talk him into coming back? Because from what I hear, the Giants didn't even make Saquon an offer at all. They never made him an offer. I don't know if they expected him to come back with an offer and then they would try to counter, or if they just had zero interest in him whatsoever.
Or yeah.
But if they had zero interest in him, I would have a big problem with that because he is a Giant. He does things the right way, and he's a good role model for the kids. He's not somebody you got to be out there watching and is he on TMZ this weekend or anything else.
He seems like a good person.
He
Yeah.
is a good person. And that's why I don't know if you guys heard Tiki's comments. Did you guys hear about Tiki Barber this week?
he called him a traitor.
Yeah.
Trader
Yep.
said that he was dead to him.
Now I think.
Do you think it was for show for the
I
radio?
think it was for show.
Yeah.
I think he was joking. To be
Saquon
honest,
didn't take it as
I'm
you.
not gonna
did
lie.
not at all.
I Tiki's show kind of frustrates the ever-living crap out of me. I don't like it. I don't like their show at all. And I would
To be honest, I don't like
I-
any. I've grown away from the fan. To be honest,
I have too. It's been more policed. I feel over the past few years, and they get the people that they hear what they want to hear, and
yeah.
it's irritating. But as for Barkley, I think it's a different situation. Barkley is a very good player, very good to the Giants. The Giants have not been good to Barkley. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The fans have treated him like shit. They've
No, recently they treated him like shit.
no, but even though he gets hurt, this point goes downhill. He comes back the next year, doesn't have the amazing season because he's coming back from a knee injury, and they
But-
still give him crap for it.
But he still stomps on people.
He still, So I mean, Barkley. I mean, he tried his best. It didn't take very well in New York. Fine, but like you said, they didn't make an offer. The biggest disrespect they did was not even giving him an actual tangible offer. That hey, we tried. We gave you something fair. You don't want it. Have a good day.
If you're willing
Part
to give
ways. That's fine.
If you're willing to give Singletary, what do you get? 16 for 3 years,
Yeah,
or 18 for 3
that
years.
infuriated me. That
Yeah. Why wouldn't you then go? Why wouldn't you at least
Offer-
offer Barkley 21 or 20
Yes.
or 24 for 3 years and guarantee it all and just be done with it?
Yep.
I don't understand that.
I agree. I agree. Or even if knock a few off, give him an offer that is like, okay, that was somewhat fair. He may not agree, but at least it's not disrespectful.
So we're dying on the same hill there.
Yeah, I agree.
The Giants 1,000,000% should have offered
I
Daniel
think
Jones something.
I think they're completely wrong in every aspect they handled the Barkley situation this offseason. Like, make him some kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I agree fully. I think they should have paid him last year instead of Jones. Honestly, because you clearly see what Jones has done, and I mean, we
agree.
called it. We knew it. We knew it was a flash in the pan season for Jones. It wasn't going to happen again, and he got hurt. And here we are with no running. Well, I mean, we got Singletary, but with no Saquon Barkley and a still injured Daniel Jones, and we have no idea what's going to happen. But yeah, like you said, and I think you even said a couple weeks ago, like give him an offer, and then like whatever team comes in at the highest offer, just give us a chance to match it or something. Like and like what you said, like to give no offer, I'd be like, F you too.
That's the biggest disrespect.
Yeah.
You can't for a guy who's poured in blood, sweat, and tears, who had to play on that
He's carried
tag
their
last
offense
year.
since he's been in the league.
6 years he's been there, right? Because I mean, they
Yeah.
had him for 5. Well, they had him for 4. They
tagged
extended
him.
him in that 5th,
Yeah.
and then tagged him. So he paid his dues. Listen, the guy has been through a lot of shitty teams, and I just wish they would have offered him something, because to me, he's a guy that could have been up in the rafters. Could have been a guy, even if he didn't win a Super Bowl with the Giants. But by the time it was all said and done, to steal a line from Dave, I think he could have been up in the rafters. I think he could have been a beloved Giant.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
I think he wanted that, but to me, the utter disrespect. But I get it too from the GM and the coaching perspective, because the GM and the coach didn't draft him. They had
Yeah, they
nothing to do with
Yeah,
that.
they had no ties to him.
And to be honest, they don't really, if you looked at Dable's time at Buffalo and whatever, they never valued the running back position. Hell, they used Josh Allen as a battering ram more than they used their running backs. So, I mean, you look at it, if they don't value the position, was he ever in a position to win with the Giants? Was he ever in a position that he was going to be a lifetime Giant? Or was this all just, and again, that's why I didn't understand Daniel Jones. They didn't draft him. They had nothing involved in him. They chose not to give him the 5th-year option and then sign this massive deal.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. It made no sense. And I don't want to keep going round and round on this issue here, but they haven't upgraded anywhere else as far as wide receiver.
Nope.
I hear they might be looking at that in the first round. I don't know what you guys are thinking. To me, it's if you can't get Marvin Harrison Jr., then it's not worth it. He's the best player in the draft. And the other one is Alt. I believe he's a lineman out of Notre Dame.
I think so.
They would be the two that at 6, where the Giants are drafting, you hope one of them falls. You hope that there's teams that want to move up and get one of those quarterbacks like May, Daniels, Caleb Williams probably going to go number 1 overall, although I don't understand why.
I don't know.
And you may even see somebody jump up and try to grab McCarthy. If that happens, then the Giants are going to end up with either their Harrison Jr., who I would be ecstatic over, because I think he's going to be all world in no time flat,
That'd be best case scenario
or
for the
Alt,
Giants.
because again, even though you signed guys, to have that offensive line help and be able to develop them where they don't have to step in right away and have the immediate pressure on them is, to me, would make a world of difference in actually developing players. So I don't know where you guys stand as far as the draft or what you think they're going to do moving forward, but what else do you think they're going to add to this team?
So I agree with you. If they can't get Marvin Harrison Jr., they should not go after a wide receiver. The one thing the Giants actually have done in their past is brought in wide receivers that may have not be so well known or even drafted, and they've done pretty well. I mean, they've got Cruz, and they've had a few other guys come up. I'm not saying have crazy big years, but make big plays.
They've produced for how they got them.
Exactly.
I guess you could
They play above their pay grade, and they're good at finding those little slot receivers that do that. If you find 2 of those guys and you have one superstar, or at least semi-superstar out there, you have a chance. But you have a couple mediocre guys playing with a quarterback that's well overpaid and has no idea what the hell he's doing, they're going to get murdered. Who cares what kind of offensive line you have when you can't get a ball downfield? Who are they going to throw the ball to right now?
Nobody.
Who's throwing the ball? Nobody.
Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah, I mean, God for friggin' Ben. I mean, you should just start whipping the ball downfield and pray, hoping to prayer.
Well, speaking of that, that's going to bring me to my And to talk quarterbacks who are overpaid and who just got paid, well, I got to bring up Kirk Cousins because guy coming off an Achilles injury somehow gets a $180 million 4-year deal, right? 4 years, and then I think $100 million of it guaranteed.
Yeah.
What is Atlanta thinking? Because this isn't trading for Justin Fields. This isn't bringing in Russell Wilson for $1.5 million. Why or 1.2, whatever it is that the Steelers are probably going to bring him in for. Whatever it is, I don't understand why we would what would entice Atlanta to do that? Because I understand, again, the Giants couldn't add a guy like that to their room because, again, you're not going to have a $70 million, $80 million QB room. I understand that. But what in the hell was Atlanta thinking? I can't wait to jump into this tomorrow, too, with Dave and Joey a little bit, but I got to get your guys' opinion because, to me, off an Achilles injury, what are we doing?
I don't know about you, but if I'm playing the NFL, I'm firing everybody in my staff and hiring everyone on his. This man has made so much money off Minnesota and this new contract. For how well he plays, he's well overpaid. It's unreal. He made $84 million in 3 years at Minnesota. For what? Did they win? Did they do anything?
And he doesn't win primetime games.
No, he can't win a goddamn prize. And then he says, I mean, more power to him, man. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Let him get whatever. Get your money, man. Get it. If he can find a way,
I'm
to
not
get
hating
people
on
to
him
pay
for
him
that.
that
I
money.
just can't believe that Atlanta would pay it.
Yeah.
But who pays that? Who? No one else would get paid that money. They're not worth it. Like
He's not worth it.
No, that's my point. But people pay him money for some reason. They pay him money to play.
He's made, I think, like over $300 million
He's
in the NFL.
super,
Something silly like that.
super business savvy. It's good for him, man.
Speaking of super business savvy, the last thing I kind of want to bring up with you guys today, and I feel like it's appropriate here as we're talking quarterbacks. Have you guys heard the latest on Aaron Rodgers?
What, that he's like in the running to be like go for VP?
Vice
with Kennedy or
President
something
with
like that?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Can he still play quarterback?
No. He's not even going to be able to do anything because the election's in November. He's going to have to be out campaigning.
Could you imagine?
And why
So, hold
hasn't
on.
he debunked
So how does
this one?
does that money revert back to the Jets? How does that work?
I have no. This is unprecedented. It's crazy and weird, and he's a wacky guy to begin with. Again,
So
I
at his rally,
can throw my tinfoil hat on with the rest of them. Don't get me wrong.
we
but-
doing shrooms at his rally? Is that the thing? Is
In-
we'll drop
in
the
dark-
shrooms
in
and see
total
what weird
darkness.
thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have a
Total
little
darkness.
ayahuasca session.
That's,
You know, big
that's
one.
it. I couldn't remember the name of the stuff. So.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a special dude. He's clearly got some level of intelligence to him.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think he's one of those people that he's almost too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, he finds himself in a lot of trouble. And this to me is uglier and uglier for the Jets because what are they going to do if he decides and Robert Kennedy Jr. decides to have him as his running mate? What does he do? What does the team do? The team is screwed. He literally
Does
fucked the Jets for the last 2 years. He set them back up half a decade.
is any of his money guaranteed in his contract?
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
I gotta think almost all of it probably is.
Yeah, and I think he gave some back last year, so I'll give him that. But he'll have to. I imagine, Carl, you're right. He
There's
will
gotta be
have to
something
eventually
where
give
they're
it
gonna,
all
like,
back
yeah.
because you can't. You can't be vice president and be collecting an NFL
Yeah.
paycheck. Nobody's going to allow that.
Yeah.
You're not going to have Secret Service
like-
guys on the field protecting him. You know what I mean? Like
How wild would that
that'd be
be?
one hell of an offensive line.
It's,
Yeah, right.
75 million guaranteed.
75 million. What's his total contract though?
Well, no, so that's over the last 2 years, I think. So he took a pay cut last year because he was supposed to be like over 40 or something.
Yeah.
So I think he's getting like 37 and a half maybe guaranteed this year, or 39, something like
30,
that.
35.
35 guaranteed.
I know
Yeah.
we just ragged on the Giants for like their office stuff, but how jet would this be if that he's like, yeah, I'm
This would
gonna
be the
VP,
most
dude.
jet thing to ever jet. But I'm almost wondering too is how does Woody Johnson allow this? Because Woody Johnson, he's a Trump guy. And now listen,
Yeah.
I do not like to get political on the show. It's not where I'm trying to take this at all. But at the same time, he's going to be running against the ownership's choice
But
in
like-
what
like,
they
yeah.
want. So it's like, I get that Aaron Rodgers is a special dude. I get that he's all otherworldly when he's on the field. But
Yeah, you
I
can't-
almost wonder if he has his sights set too much elsewhere, almost like a Kyrie Irving of the NFL. Like where he's just his priorities are no longer winning football games. If that happens, great, and he wants to do that. But if it doesn't happen at the same time,
He doesn't
I don't
care.
think. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he cares enough that he's going to
Yeah, because he's just gonna
get
in front-
sad about it. He's,
He's
going to
gonna-
instead go on another retreat somewhere, and he'll be fine in a month.
Yeah, he's gonna get on the mic and he's gonna speak his opinion, and he's gonna be like, maybe we'll win next week.
So basically, his transition was going from Jeopardy host to VP of the United States of America.
Hey man,
That's a hell of a trajectory, pretty quick.
that's wild.
Not gonna lie.
That's
We're going
wild.
to stop off at the Jets facility in between.
Yeah.
Quick little hello and
The difference with the Jets, though, is they find themselves in positions that they didn't exactly put themselves in.
That's his only touchdown.
Now,
Preseason.
what do you have? 4 snaps?
Yeah, like,
I thought it was
think
4
8.
total seconds.
Yeah, no, it was like he was on the field for it was 2 drives. I think it was like 8 plays, 10 plays maybe, and yeah, I saw the touchdown.
So he got hurt, blew his Achilles, became
4 plays into the
VP.
season.
I like it. I like
And
the
had the
transition.
quickest Achilles injury heal like of all time.
Oh no! He actually is not healed from it yet. Like he said, he thought he was going to be. That's hence why it was pushed back, and he gave some money back. I think.
Yeah, and he, but it's to me one of those things that why would he even, 1, consider it? 2, why would the Jets allow him to consider it? And 3, does he actually have a chance? Like, or is this just all just, noise out there and he's just enjoying the attention?
So you're going to tell him that he can get all the attention he wants, play with the same kind of idiots that he does in the NFL and in politics, and not have to get hit every day by guys that are 350 pounds?
He's
going
down.
to do it.
He's down for it.
He's going to do it. Then he gets free crap from being the vice president. He gets what?
He's not going to get $35 million.
Health. 30. What is he? Basically, in all free stuff. Are you kidding? They don't pay for anything.
He's gonna go to the Jets game.
Like people pay
in
him
Air
to do
Force
things
One
for
because
them.
he can.
And do you
I
think?
don't know.
Do you
I
think?
don't know if
Force-
I don't know if
Air Force One,
I don't know if they're letting him in the front gate. And whether
No, they're gonna make him go out the back though. But but he doesn't need the money. He doesn't.
No.
Like half these guys don't need the money. It's a joke. It's a joke to them. Half of them, and other guys are literally fighting for it. Half these running backs have 5 years to make their money, and the teams own them for 5 years. After that, they're hitting around 30 years old. They can't make any. They have one shot. Very few guys can.
I think you're going to see more rookies that come in and have a big first year holding out the second year.
If
I
I
think you're going to start to see that trend.
As a
Because
running
they're
back,
gonna go, well, look
I'm
at what I
running
did
the
last
NFLPA.
year, and my prime is only in the next 4 or 5 years. Give me a deal for the next 4 or 5 years.
I'm going to the NFLPA and telling them these contracts are bullshit. They should not have. They shouldn't be alone for 5 years. They 3 year max. That's it for a running back position because they can't get paid any other way. At least a quarterback, you can play to your 40 if you're a solid quarterback because all these new rules you can't get touched
And you
more
stay
than
healthy.
like a deep breath for some reason. They'll play to the 45. The running back who gets destroyed going through the hole, getting you your first downs and touchdowns, gets 5 years. If he's lucky, he gets to sign a new contract. That's it.
Yeah, I think
If not, you throw him away like trash. That's it. It's over.
I think what they should do, like branching off your thing out of the draft, each position should, I think, have like he says, own them for 5 years. Each position should have a different year on it. Like maybe quarterbacks be 5 years, maybe running backs, like you said, because they don't get paid as much. Like they have a smaller window of their prime time, like own for 2, maybe 3 years. Like there should be different years per position. I feel.
Based on
Or something like that. Yeah, based on position and like average
Also,
prime.
Speaking of aging running backs, so brings me to real quick, just going to touch on before we get out of here. I think next year, oddly enough, I know he's past the running back prime age, I believe, but got his signature right over here. Mr. Derrick Henry joining Baltimore. Didn't he just join Baltimore?
What are they signing for like 2 years, like
Yeah.
20 million or something like that?
Something like that. That could be, if you give Lamar Jackson a beast like him, it's gonna. And I get it that he's over that hill mark. And speaking of which, the Titans went out and signed Pollard too. Again, can't wait to talk to Dave about that tomorrow. Too.
Yeah, by the way, Dallas hasn't done anything.
Dallas fan, but
Oh, I think we signed their kicker.
Was it a kicker?
I think it was a kicker.
Oh, no, long snapper. I think it
Long
was long
snapper.
snapper.
Damn it! I knew it was one of them.
yeah, no, I think he could be scary there. I
That-
don't know if you guys
yeah.
got any quick thoughts.
He's definitely gonna take pressure off of Jackson because they're gonna have a nice RPO. They're gonna be able to like pitch it, keep it, whatever they want. What?
It's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, it's gonna be dirty because
Carl,
Jackson.
do that one more time. No. Give it to us.
But it's gonna be nasty.
He was trying to say, "Ooh, that's gonna be nasty."
None of that. They have Flowers as a wide receiver out there. He's young. He's upcoming.
Yeah.
What? Do you, what?
Yeah, they've Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah, isn't getting investigated for something though? Like, isn't he?
Hey, you're not guilty in the NFL until you're guilty.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So
Listen, if you can make the NFL $1, they're gonna find a way to keep you on the
that's
field.
true.
they're gonna be nasty. Though.
Yeah, but I heard he was getting investigated for something. I don't know how true it was, but I heard, and I don't know exactly what, so it could be wrong. I don't know.
Either way, I do think that that's an upgrade at the running back position
Absolutely.
for Baltimore next year.
Well, but it's also
and tough division.
it's also for him, for Henry. I mean, with that quarter, with him as a quarterback and the offense there, he's going to get hit less. He's going to have more holes to run through. He won't need to run as much yet get the same yards. He'll get the dump offs. I mean, it's going to help everyone out there. It's going to be a great offense there. It's going to be rough.
I'm gonna
Rough for
assume
everybody who plays him.
Baltimore's O line is better than Tennessee's, so that's also gonna preserve him.
It doesn't even need to be.
No, they
You have a
don't
quarterback
because
like
he's
that.
a monster. But yeah, I think he's just gonna be better off in Baltimore. I think they're all around better team. Obviously, I mean, obviously they went into the playoffs. They lost to the Chiefs, but I mean, like they're a solid team. They're a scary team to be against.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna be fighting up there too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. That's pretty much all I have for you guys. I don't know if you guys got anything else for me.
Do we have a die on this hill question for tonight or no?
Yeah, no, we got to come up with one. Let's come up with one.
Oh wait,
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean,
We touched on a lot of different things.
we did, so we got to think a little bit.
So, how about, is Brian Burns worth the $30 million a year, $150 million contract he just signed? So I'm gonna put that out as the poll question.
That's right.
Quick little
That's
yes or
fair.
no poll. And as far as a question of the week, let's think of a die on this hill. What the hell are they gonna die on?
Daniel Jones.
I'll give you the
That
question.
could be every week.
With their quarterback room the way it is, Daniel Jones, Tommy Cutlets,
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock for 1 year. Woo. Do they have enough to have a winning season?
No.
If they all get to play at once, yes. I'm not
No.
joking. A three-headed monster. That's all you can do.
No.
Play it again.
That's the wrong three-headed monster, by the way.
No, but that's
That's
my
not
point.
like that's not
my point.
Patrick Mahomes,
No.
Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen.
No.
You ever
So-
see that meme of the three-legged dragon and two of them are
Yeah.
a little off? You know, that's kind of what I'm envisioning there.
That's literally my point, though. Like, literally, what are you going to do? The
Well-
best players you have are backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I
I
mean-
mean, Tommy.
I mean,
Cutlets'
I mean-
agent is
I mean-
there, that little leprechaun.
So overall, grade for the offseason. Last question. I might use this question instead. Grade the Giants. How do they grade?
Currently, C minus.
C minus. I'll go. I'd probably go C minus, D plus.
I'm going flat C. I think, I'm going a straight up C. I think we got to see where they go from here. It's not flashy. It's not, you're not blowing anybody out of the water here with the guys they took. But if Dable can somehow mold this thing into what he did the first year there, they could be a scary, scary team because they're going to be underdogs. And the Giants played best when they were underdogs. The Giants played best when their backs were against the wall. They were so good 2 years ago and made the playoffs because, and I'll die on this hill every time, but Daniel Jones needed a contract. Saquon was playing for a contract. Lawrence was playing for a contract. All their top guys were playing for contracts at the time. They were playing for a brand new GM and a brand new coach. So they were giving 150% every game. I was calling them the tryhards all year because they did. They took that moniker from Detroit that year because they gave 150 every week and they gave teams problems. If Dable can get the team rallied like that, I think they have a chance to surprise teams. But it's how much do the guys that they brought in buy into his system? How much does he gel with this new defensive coordinator? And can they figure out this quarterback situation? It's a lot of ifs. And yeah. I just want to know where everybody else stands on it, though.
They're
I
gonna
want them
have
to find a hill and die on.
they're gonna have to rely on their defense. I wouldn't expect much. They're gonna have to rely on defensive turnovers and just keeping people out of the end zone. Field goal, we played football, football. Field goals are okay. Field goals are a win, especially on a long drive, something like that. But I wouldn't expect. I'm not expecting 30 points out of this offense next season.
All right. Listen, I just hope they can put up more than 20 a game and give the defense a fighting chance.
Yeah,
With that being said,
you got something?
well, tell them where they can find you, Tim.
All platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook. I stream games a couple times a week. You can find me there, Fighting Irish _57 on all platforms, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Also, all the same name: Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
What about you, Carl? You got anywhere that people can find you?
You could find me in your dreams. That's about it.
All right. Well, listen, that's accurate. You can't see him, but he's an Adonis over there. Trust me. D1 athlete.
Find him at
You
Home
can
Take
find
Care's
me,
basketball team.
of course, at the Living Legend on X, YouTube, or X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. At Die on This Hill on YouTube. And yeah, until next time, don't be afraid to have an opinion. And yeah, die on this hill. Okay. That's it. That already saved to there. So I got the audio, look at the video. Now that's on YouTube. Sweet.